a bonus episode of Storytime at the Roo Bus. I'm Charla.
I'm Daniel.
How are you, Daniel?
I'm good. I think as a lot of people have heard by now, we had our own Speakeasy Bonnaroo near Winchester, Tennessee a week and a half ago. And man, it was a blast. Did you have a good time?
I had a great time at Speakeasy Roo.
So it was about 1/100th of the size of the regular Roo. But you know what? It was a slice of the farm and I had a great time.
More like 1,000th of the size.
1,000th?
I don't
Maybe.
know. I don't do percentages or math.
Oh, okay. I wasn't good at math class either. I want to give a big thanks, first of all, to Lindsey from Roo Fitness, who opened up his little campground property to host us all. We had about 50 people there, and we spaced out so we could be safe. And I want to thank the musicians that came down. We had Lee Gibson out of Nashville. We had DJ Paulo. We had DJ Snow, who actually played the bus a few years ago. He opened for Repeat. And I want to give a big thanks to Seeds. That Seeds with a question mark at the end. They're one of my favorite bands out of Huntsville, Alabama, where the Roo Bus crew is from. And if anybody at AC has ever listened to this, please book them for a Thursday show. You could book any of these musicians. Put DJ Snow on top of Calliope or on the other stage.
They were all fantastic.
Yeah. DJ Paulo was great. He would be so good on Calliope or the other stage. Lee Gibson is a great country artist that would be great to play. But man, I'm telling you, I'm pulling a homer because Seeds is also from Huntsville. If anybody with any pull is listening to this, give Seeds a tent on Thursday. I promise you they will kill it. They are so fun and full of energy, and I would love to see them there. But anyway, big thanks to everybody that came out, and I'm so sorry that we couldn't have everybody there. I got messages from people after the fact said, hey, where's my invite? I'm sorry. We could only have like so many people there because of the space and because we wanted to keep doing the social distancing thing. I feel like we pulled it off pretty well. You had a good time, you said?
Oh, I did, for sure.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens in September. Quick note, we haven't really been doing the podcast as much lately because there just isn't a lot to talk about. We want to make sure that we know what's going on because we don't really want to be in the business of speculation or anything because there's only so much you can say when it comes to that.
You say you don't want to speculate, but your Twitter is just... I heard.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Without just relaying things that we see on like the Loophole group or Reddit.
I'm just picking at
I
you.
know. I got to get out of that habit. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the real Bonnaroo before too long. And why don't we just go ahead and get into this episode that we recorded?
Okay, let's do it.
Well, let me apologize to everyone. The audio quality isn't the best because my little recording device crapped out. But thankfully, big thanks to Lord Taco from the What Podcast who was able to save it. And we turned this into like a collaborative thing. And this is another crossover episode with them. So now, how about we jump into it?
All right, let's do it.
Well, it's a great day on the farm, but not that farm. We're actually in Tennessee, and we're drinking beer, and there's music.
We're on a farm, and there's music, and there's campsites.
There are campsites.
And you got a PBR and your bus.
Got a PBR, the bus is here, your bus is here.
Finally, in the same place.
In the same place. Where could we be?
We are at a secret Speakeasy Roo that we kind of put together over the past month. And I am very sorry to anyone who couldn't be here. We had kind of like a capacity. But we have a lot of people that you may know from Bonnaroo here today. Let's start with this buddy sitting with me.
Happy fucking Roo, everybody. My name's Kyle. You may know me on Twitter as Bonnaroovian. Happy to be here, celebrating the Bonnaroo weekend.
I'm so glad you're here. And also, next up,
I'm Lindsey with Roo Fitness. And some of you guys may know us from our Roo Fitness Facebook page and Instagram.
yeah, you heard Lord Taco / Russ With the Bus earlier. He's sitting across from me. But also, we have another special guest. You have probably seen his work before.
David Bruce from the I Am Bonnaroo photo project.
So,
It's a privilege to be here, man.
dude, no, it's a privilege to have you
Wow.
here.
So I'm humbled.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you probably have a better Instagram account about Bonnaroo than Bonnaroo does, honestly.
Well, that's a great compliment. I've heard that before, so that's a fantastic compliment, though.
Like, to me,
I know at this point I'm posting more than Bonnaroo.
Oh!
There you go.
To me, like, the top two Bonnaroo photographers are you and Brian.
Yeah,
So,
Brian is phenomenal.
Yeah, Brian Hensley is his last name?
Yeah.
Brian Hensley.
I love how Brian can capture kind of like the scene at a show or like from above the Ferris wheel, but you do a good job, David, of capturing like people experiencing Bonnaroo and experiencing a show.
I appreciate it. I actually met Brian last year for the first time, and he gave me a ride on the golf cart from one end of the tent city to the next. So yeah, he's a very cool guy. He's legit.
That's a favor that can save your life on the farm if it's in the middle of the day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually needed to get to Roo rides to get into town, and he's the guy that hooked me up. So that was good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So this was an impromptu thing. We didn't necessarily plan on recording a deal here today at our little mini Roo. I guess we can talk a little bit about it now that you'll be hearing about this after the fact. And a lot of this was the brainchild of Lindsey over here, because we are on his property. Yeah. You have put together your own Bonnaroo this weekend. You want to talk a little bit about where this came from and everything?
Yeah, honestly, Daniel, it started off with you and I in a little bit of what are we going to do now when Roo postponed. And I said, well, I've got this little slice of thing that I own. And
Slice of heaven.
Yeah. And it's got some creek on it, and it's got some really nice features, and is sort of a decent place to come hang out. So I guess you and I tried to, found a couple of musicians who were just dying to play after being locked up for COVID-19.
Boy, I bet that was tough to find.
I actually had a couple that were like, hey, can I come play? And which was really awesome. And so we sort of just coordinated, watching what the state was doing for opening, and with the COVID-19 stuff, and when it kind of looked like we were going to be able to have a gathering of people, we knew we had the space out here where we could all have our own social distancing and still get together and enjoy a Bonnaroo feel and some music.
And I know, I was a little anxious about this, Lindsey, when we were putting this together, because I've been a little worried of the COVID cooties and everything as well. But we knew that, for two reasons, we were going to have to put a cap on it. One for just because it's not that huge of a space. It's maybe 1/100th of the size of the real farm.
Oh yeah, it's not even the size of one of the plazas.
Yeah. And we wanted to also, be responsible, make sure everybody had space to, be comfortable and keep the 6 feet rule and everything. And, I feel like we've done it. This has gone off great. When you do something like this, you never really can tell the future and know how it's going to go. But we're about to go into night 2 of our music here on Lindsey's farm, and I feel like we've got a hit, man.
Yeah, it actually turned into something a lot better than I expected it to. I think for me, I was going into my 9th Bonnaroo, not getting to spend time with my Bonnaroo friends was really, really depressing. Yeah. And after we've all been cooped up, it's been really nice, I think, for everybody's psyche to step out and just see some people and sort of have a good time and be outside of our house,
Because that's why you go to Bonnaroo, right? In the music, for one, but also to go see your friends.
Yeah,
so
sure,
to have that here, it's definitely helping a lot.
I mean, we were joking around earlier today and last night. Of course, we're not getting to see the big acts that we would have wanted to have seen, but hanging out in a campground with funky music with crazy lights in the trees with our friends, this is almost just as good.
Yeah, trading beers, trading stories.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a lot like an extended campground. You stumble upon that party in a campground. It's been a lot like that, is what it felt like today.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Everybody still says Happy Roo.
Yeah. So Kyle, you're just up the road in
I'm up in Murfreesboro.
You made the short drive down here. And I know you and I are on the same wavelength. We didn't want a June to go by without something going on. What have you been doing yourself to keep your spirits up the past week or so?
Not looking at social media. Exercising. Just trying to keep my mind off of this week for sure.
It was helpful knowing we had this coming up.
Yes, I'm very appreciative. I'm very thankful for this. But just trying not to think about it. Not looking at the lineup. Not looking about playing would've, could've, should've. I'm just trying to be optimistic about September. So I just, for the most part, wasn't thinking about it. I'm already planning for 2021.
Yeah, same.
363 days left.
What do you think, David? How are you feeling right now? Are you keeping guarded about September, or are you just ready to punt till next year?
Well, I guess I'm holding out hopes, but I don't honestly really think it's going to happen. I don't really know. It makes sense that it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But I'm very grateful for this because, selfishly speaking, and by no means is this all about me, but this was going to be my 10th year anniversary, which was going to be
That's
huge.
really special, yeah.
I was going to have, people there that I've been to the festival with for over the last 10 years, and the bottom's kind of fallen out on it. But I'm grateful for this. It definitely feels like Bonnaroo, and I'm grateful to have some fresh additions for the I Am Bonnaroo project.
That's cool. Yeah.
So
I was joking with some people last night. There was a guy on a megafilm that was shouting like "Happy Mini Roo" or "Quarantine Roo," whatever you call it. I'm like, dude, there's not Bonnaroo happening anywhere else. This is Bonnaroo for now.
yeah.
Taco, I sent you I call you Taco when I talk about podcast stuff. It just kind of instinctually happens.
Everyone's that.
I was telling you guys when you were doing a live broadcast the other day, and I said something along the lines of like, well, to that point, the people that run Bonnaroo were being like really silent. The people that own the trademark were being kind of quiet, but the community is being the community that owns itself is being louder than ever.
Yeah, and it's absolutely true. I mean, they were eerily quiet. And I guess we kind of called them out, and then I don't know if they listened and then posted something, or if that's coincidence. But it's the fan community has definitely kept this alive. I mean,
for sure.
Yeah, it would not be the same.
Yeah.
Lindsey, you and Celia, who's here, we should have got her on the horn over here. Maybe we should go talk to her later. You were real involved in the fan community, keeping everything going with like Roo Fitness. Like, what has been your guys' thoughts, like keeping community stuff going the past couple months?
Well, the Roo Fitness group is all about health and wellness and staying fit for the marathon that is Bonnaroo. And we had a virtual 5K where we all kind of ran our own 5K in our own area, and then got together on an Instagram live afterwards and had a good time. But I think really it's just, hey, let's have a goal to work for, which for me right now it's a September Roo. I'm gonna work toward it, and if it happens, I'm ready. If it doesn't, then I'm that much farther to be ready for 2021.
Absolutely.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, prepare thyself, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. We often forget about that part of the code.
That's the first code.
Yeah. I feel like prepare thyself has been a code thing for Bonnaroovians the past couple of months, because like we've been prepared for like not only a pandemic, but also like prepared for like the mindfulness that this is requiring. Kyle, you joked that you've been hiding from social media because you didn't want to see what would have been happening or whatever. But like, I had been looking the past couple of days, and I had seen so many Bonnaroovians having like backyard Bonnaroos.
Yes.
They just get a big speaker, make a makeshift arch.
You wouldn't believe how many people are actually celebrating their birthday this weekend, along with
Lindsay's birthday
and
is
it's
this weekend.
It's the perfect excuse to get your friends together and throw on your festival rave attire and just have a good time, throw on some good tunes.
Like, I'm just thinking of it now because I see a sticker hanging here in the bus with us. The guy that runs the Bonnaroo 365 account, he's doing a really cool thing this weekend where he's doing Homeroo.
Yeah, I saw last night, Friday night, he had streamed Sir Paul McCartney. He's got like 10 years of just film that he's going to release on Twitch or his Instagram Live. He's really doing God's work right now.
Yeah. Okay, we're back. We would have been interrupted by the same thing at Bonnaroo by like random DJs like in the campgrounds or whatever. And I'm glad that we paused because Celia is with us now from Roo Fitness.
Hey, what's up, fam?
How have you been doing?
Pretty good. I'm just hanging in there, hanging on this beautiful, beautiful field with all you people.
Oh, well, we appreciate that very much. We were talking a little bit with Lindsey about how we put this together and everything, and I remember I messaged you with kind of like an idea of what we were doing down here, and you were just like, what? Okay, yes.
Full send.
Yeah.
I'm getting in the car right now.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let me in. Yeah, this was a pretty sweet idea, and I've been telling you and Lindsey all weekend just how grateful that I am. I know everyone else are, just for this entire weekend, just bringing the community together and just really letting us live this Bonnaroo lifestyle when we couldn't really have it right now.
Well, we were talking a little bit about this before you came in. Like, it can be tough at times when something we love, you have to admit, is corporately owned, and it's their job to make money off of it. But still, there's the community that kind of owns itself, right?
Right.
And so many things have been happening online the past week with people like sharing old memories and doing stuff like Homeroo from Bonnaroo 365. And we did the fun 5K last week, and so many other people are doing things from home or whatever. It reminds you that the community is probably the strongest thing about it.
It's so much more than a place. It's definitely the people.
Yeah,
It is
exactly.
the people. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Kyle, weren't you telling me a story that you went somewhere and somebody noticed your Bonnaroo bandana?
Yeah. On my way down here, I'm driving through Winchester, Tennessee, and I'm at the Kroger gas station, and this nice, kind woman must have been like as old as our mother. And she notices my Bonnaroo bandana, like from last year, radiate positivity. You know, it's just a slang, it's just a term, you know, it's just a saying. But she recognized it, and she pulled away her Kroger apron. I saw her big fat Bonnaroo logo. Oh my God, no, yeah.
That
just
is amazing.
The definition of Southern hospitality. And she's like, oh my gosh. And she put up her hand against the glass, and so we high-fived. It was on Friday. It was just, you know, everybody down here just knows it's a vibe. Like, it's just every year, like clockwork.
Like, every Bonnaroovian has a story like that when you've run into another in the wild, you know.
It's just so organic, just so random, just a complete stranger, and just nothing but love.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like that's going to be even stronger now that, you know, now we're missing each other a little bit. You know, the old saying is absence makes the heart grow fonder, you know. When we see each other all again on the farm, you know, the real farm, not this little miniature one we have today. Like, it's just going to be so bittersweet.
It's going to be amazing. You know, I've had many conversations just on social media with all my Bonnaroo friends of just, you know, the vibe can definitely get low at times because we miss everybody. We miss the vibe. We miss everything. But just really reiterating the fact that when we do get back to the farm, that first hug that we give everybody for the first time over, almost 2 years when we go back?
At least a year and a half.
At least a year and a half. It's going to be phenomenal. That first Bonnaroo hug on the farm.
Yeah, I'm not letting go first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never let go, Jack.
There is room for 2 people in that damn door.
That's awesome.
So part 2 is something I want to talk about. One thing that we've been doing that's been fun at our little Speakeasy Bonnaroo is sharing some of our old favorite stories. You know, last night we were up till 2 a.m. sharing stories or whatever. So let's talk a little bit about lineup first. Let's go around the room. Everybody tell your favorite act you've ever seen at Bonnaroo and the one that you would have loved to have seen this year. And Taco, you're with the show that does the lineup. So why don't we start with you?
I have this year's lineup. I brought it with me just to cry a little bit.
So your favorite ever, and then what you would have seen this year.
Favorite ever, probably either Pond in 2018.
My man. Yeah.
Last year I'd have to say Gambino, probably are tied.
Yeah.
This year, there's so much this year. Oysterhead. I can't even read this now. I'm too shook.
I know. I can't see this paper from all the tears on it.
I know. Yeah, Primus. I don't know. It's
All of
Jules.
it.
All of it.
Yeah.
Pretty
All
much.
of it.
I mean, every single day there was
Can
something.
you imagine in a universe where Corona didn't happen, but the current social situation did happen,
Oh, wow.
how lit that Run the Jewel
Yeah.
show would be?
Oh, it would be
that'd
really
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man.
I don't mean to be petty, but I hope it's raining in the parallel universe.
Oh my. No, that's pretty petty. Don't be that guy.
yeah, okay, I'm not
All right,
yeah.
Kyle, you volunteered yourself. What's your favorite show ever? Then this
Favorite
year?
show ever? Definitely Chic and Nile Rodgers, 2018. I was in the web pit for that, and that dude is a heat maker. There's no way that you can not listen to music and not listen to anything that he's ever put his hands on. He's a big influence on modern music today. Biggest miss for this year? Jack Black and Tenacious D.
Oh, yeah.
I love Jack Black.
Can you imagine getting him to party on the farm? You know he would have been one of the guys that's out in the camps and
Oh,
doing crazy
man.
stuff.
Yeah, I think he was there maybe 10 years ago in 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's long overdue. After that, DJ Mel. Shout out to DJ Mel.
No, isn't she kind of
DJ.
Obama's DJ? Yeah.
Yeah, he DJ'd Barack Obama's inauguration in 2016. And he's the official DJ for the University of Texas Longhorns men's football and basketball team. He's got a very impressive resume. If you catch him, you'll find him in the silent disco. Cut a rug.
Can we have Obama come like MC?
Sick of that.
Wait, I think his daughter's like in the festival season, right?
Yeah, she is.
No,
She
oh,
is.
well, then he can't come because he would embarrass her.
Dad, don't embarrass me.
So favorite ever, and then what you would have seen this year?
Favorite ever, definitely 2013's Paul McCartney. Oh my gosh, it was just magical the entire time, and especially when he started singing "Hey Jude." Can we just reminisce on that moment and feel that moment again?
I guess were we all there? No, Taco, you weren't there, were you?
I was not.
Oh,
You were there, Colorado.
Negative.
Oh, God bless y'all.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
It was remarkable. So many people were just crying and laughing and hugging and crying, and just the vibe around the entire farm was just so magical.
That answer almost doesn't count because that's
I
by
know.
default. That's like.
But it's my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. David, how about you?
I actually was going to say Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
I was going to say pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It was.
To see a Beatle, you
It-
know.
Oh yeah.
You know, well, so I went to see him because he was a Beatle, but I wasn't really expecting what he did and what he brought. I mean, to hear 85,000 people sing that song and Let It Be, I mean, I had tears in my eyes. I had goosebumps.
Mhm.
It was an incredible moment.
For so many of us, that like there's a lot of the current generation of Bonnaroovians that was their first year. So we were so incredibly spoiled that on night 2 of our first Bonnaroo, we
Yeah.
got like Paul McCartney
Yeah.
singing that for
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
Yeah.
And this year, you know, this lineup was fat for me. I mean, it was.
Dude.
Staggering.
But I have to
man.
say, right out of the gate, without even really looking at this, and it has everything to do with what's going on and the fact that they just dropped an incredible album, it would be Run the Jewels.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, for whatever it's worth, Pitchfork gave their record an 8.5. And, you know, you got to take those kind of reviews from them with a grain of salt. But that's pretty solid.
I think
Yeah.
our compatriots on the info board would have everyone know that Pitchfork is full of it anyway.
Yeah. Well, you know, I love them when I love them.
Yeah.
I hate them when I hate them. But you know, I think this one they got right.
Hmm.
That's just a great album, and the time is right for it now.
Have you listened to some of the lyrics like in detail on the new Run the Jewels? It's like they saw the future because they
Yeah.
would have had to have recorded that like months
Yeah.
ago.
Well, and they actually dropped that album a little bit early, and obviously they did it for a reason.
Hmm.
So, just an incredible record, and considering everything that's going on, that would have been a banger this year at Bonnaroo.
I keep thinking about how what was happening in the country in like 67, 68, 69 kind of correlates in many ways to what's happening right now. And, you know, music was one of the empowering things back then. It's kind of how Woodstock even came to be.
Exactly.
So I feel like Run the Jewels is in a big way doing the same thing right now with that
Yeah.
new album.
Sure.
And
I can make that correlation. You have the anti-war. You have a lot of the Doors, a lot of those
Yeah.
Invasions
Yeah.
bands, and then us
I remember
right now in the
go
political
ahead.
situation that we're in. Yeah, absolutely. I can see RTJ using their platform.
You know what, Lizzo is doing the same thing. And none of us mentioned Lizzo, but that would have been an incredible show. Like, I feel like her message of like positivity in so many ways would have spoke so well to our particular audience and would have spoke to 2020 and its dumpster fire in general. You know.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess I'll go last. Like Paul, of course, is like one of the best like favorite old shows. But like I have said this so many times, I'll say it one more time. Like Friday night of 2016 was like the best night of my life. Bouncing from M83 to LCD sound system back to Tame. Yeah, that, I'm not going to talk into too much detail on this podcast about that and why it was so fun. But if you were there, you know. Oh my gosh,
If you know, you know.
Like 2016 was like a low attendance year, but there was just like some kind of feeling on the farm that year.
Yeah, I had a blast that year.
It hasn't been there ever.
Yeah.
Since that year or before. Like, it's hard to describe unless you were there.
Yeah.
And then for this year, you guys know me. I mean, you can take one wild guess who I was all in on. Yeah. I'm heartbroken. I'm not trying to think too far ahead of it, but I know I'll get to see Tame Impala one of these days again, so
Yeah.
I'm not too broken up about it. And, you know, in general, I'm not too broken up that we're not in Manchester right now. We made our own little slice of a farm here in near Winchester, Tennessee.
We're not in Manchester, we're in Winchester. Slight difference.
Some kind of Chester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still close enough to the farm where we could still swing by and take
I
a
mean,
peek.
it's starting to be sunset on a farm in Tennessee on the second weekend in June, and we're about to have music.
Yeah.
And I'm with some of my best friends and favorite people, so this is good enough for me, man.
Absolutely.
David and I actually stopped by the farm this past weekend.
Oh yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It was like running through your empty high school. After
Oh,
hours.
that's great.
Wow.
You know what
That's
I'm saying?
great.
Yeah.
And then
man.
the traffic, you could hear like some of the vehicles from the highway, and it was like roars from concerts past.
Yeah.
It was kind of eerie. It was spooky. We walked around Planet Roo. I actually got up on top of the what stage. I planted flowers inside of Planet Roo.
Oh man.
So yeah, performed a little bit of B&E, hopped the
Yeah.
fence, and planted some flowers.
No,
But
that was
no,
beautiful.
it was. I only spent maybe 45 minutes there, but David, we ran into each other. What a coincidence!
Yeah,
Our
yeah,
lucky stars just happened to line
Yeah.
up. We ran into each other as you were on your way out. I was on my way in. You said you spent like 2 hours
I was
there.
there for 2 hours, yeah.
What
Yeah,
did you
man.
think?
And you brought 3 cameras with you?
Yeah, you know, it was I mean, to say it was surreal doesn't even cut it. And and similar to what you said, I mean, I literally sat up on the what stage. I've never been on the stage, of course, before. Looking out at that empty field and just reflected on how many iconic people I saw exactly where I was sitting, just playing to a sea of people.
I'm getting goosebumps too thinking about it. Like I was standing where Elton John's piano was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about how many shows that have been in that spot. Like the last show the Beastie Boys ever performed.
Yeah.
Like Lionel Richie, Elton John, Billy Joel. I mean,
Just incredible.
Jay-Z, Stevie Wonder. Like so many.
Yeah.
Haley Williams, Florence. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
Sir
Lord,
Paul himself.
Yeah, it just goes on. And on.
Yeah.
I've been up there too. We kind of took a very respectful walk a couple of years ago in October, like 2015 or something like that. And I went on top of the wet stage, and it's like, it's like, we joke about parallel universe. That's what it's like when you get up there, because everything seems so much smaller. It seems like just a small pasture instead of a thing that holds 100,000 people.
There's no way 80 to 100,000 people can fit in there. I don't believe it. Just like the hill.
Yeah.
The hill never moved.
All right, guys. I think we're about to jump into night 2 of our music here on our little Speakeasy Bonnaroo here. But any other thoughts before we cut out?
This is beautiful.
Yeah, life is good, man, and I appreciate you guys putting this together. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Thank you.
I really had no idea what to expect. I got an address from you. It was pretty much all the details.
I was like, bring
had.
bus, bring back.
And I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to this thing. And this has been amazing. Brad, Barry, you missed it. You blew a big chance.
He should have come from New Orleans.
He should have definitely come from New Orleans.
No, he's trying to get you to come to New Orleans.
He's trying to get me down there.
Yeah.
He should have been up here, and Barry should have come up here too, at least for the day, even if he didn't camp.
Well, he's a newsman. We need that now more than ever.
Yeah, he had to work today, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
I know they would both love to be here.
Kyle, any last thoughts?
I'm really thankful that this is going down. Thanks for setting this up.
Oh no,
Take care of
seriously.
us. Yeah,
I can't take any credit. This is Lindsey's thing. He this is his little plot. He put all this together and welcomed us in here. So we have to wish him a happy birthday and make sure that we leave no trace and respect his farm.
Absolutely,
Yes.
Yeah. Celia, anything?
It's just been great so far, and even just making brand new connections that we probably never would have made, even on the farm that we made here, has been phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's charged my battery up in the same way that like the real Bonnaroo would have. So I mean,
Yeah.
we'll find out what happens in September or next June. But I feel so much better knowing the community is really stronger than ever.
Yeah, this
Like,
is going to get us through, you know.
Yeah.
For
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Russ, anything you want to sign off with from the what?
I'll just have to say goodbye for Brad and Barry, I guess.
Oh, okay.
It's really the first time that we had an episode, and they're not here.
Oh, and one last thing before we sign off. I got to give a big props to, we talked about Bonnaroo 365 putting together Homebrew.
Yeah.
Big props to the parachute people
Yeah.
for doing a lot of things right now. Ron and all the rest of that crew are doing some streams this week. And I feel like they have been, for the past half decade, one of the prime leaders of the Bonnaroo community to not just do the thing with the Roo shoot, but promote positivity and inclusiveness and just love in general. And I feel like they have set up the community to have been prepared for this little hiccup and to stay positive throughout it. And
yeah, we've been doing this.
yeah,
This is not normal, or this is normal. This is
yeah. I want to give them a big props
This
too.
isn't anything new for
yeah.
us.
And that goes. I mean, there's so many different little communities. There's Camp Red Roo. There's Roo-Tang Clan. There's Trying to Go to Bed. What? Let's name them off. Who am I missing? There's Bonnaroo Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Bonnaroo
Rooster.
Yeah.
Bonnaroo
Jay's
Rooster.
Bonnaroo Rooster.
Yeah.
Bonnaroo Babe.
Yeah.
Bonnaroo, man.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Bonnaroo Ball a couple years ago. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there's. I'm sure there's somebody we're missing, but like, all this stuff is what is keeping the community strong. It's what keeps Bonnaroo. I guarantee you, there aren't as many like groups that are going to like Coachella or Hangout Festival or
Doubt it.
Glastonbury. No,
Yeah.
or that haven't made 2 or 3 different podcasts. Rooham guys, that's another one I should mention.
Yeah, shout out to the
Yeah,
Roo
shout out.
guys.
Yeah.
They've been steady. They've been very consistent. They've been
Yeah.
on top of it,
Yeah.
for sure.
Camp Phantasmagoria.
Yes. Snaps to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just
Yeah.
listen.
Nothing but love for all of them.
I mean, no,
Yeah,
this
they're
is just a
great.
love fest, man.
Mhm.
Like, I'm glad that we got to see a lot of our friends here this weekend on our little like miniature Bonnaroo that we put together. But I think I speak for everybody. We all want everybody together in one place again, and it's gonna happen. September or June next year, it's gonna happen.
Definitely.
Agreed. Yeah.
All right, so you know what? I think on that note, let's go start some music and let's get out there and radiate positivity.
Huge thanks again to Russ with the Bus, Lord Taco, who was able to salvage that audio. I know it wasn't the best, but that isn't his fault. That's my fault because the file got messed up or something like that. But I'm glad that we saved that conversation because it was great to talk with Kyle, with David, with Celia, with Lindsey, with everybody that was there. That was a lot of fun. One last note, I wanted to thank everybody that reached out to us about Ricky this past week. You had probably seen on our social media, our beloved cat of well over a decade crossed the Rainbow Bridge this past week. And if you've seen us at the farm, you have undoubtedly seen our totem with his face on it. It's tough to describe, but that cat was more than a cat. He was like a bro and a symbol for us for a very long time. What do you think, Charla?
Yeah, he was 13 years old and he just died of old age. So
pretty much, it just caught up with him.
Yeah, he didn't suffer or anything like that. So.
But I want to tell you, thank you. So many people reached out, and at times I feel like it's a little silly because he was a cat, not a person, but he was much more than a cat to us. And if you've seen that totem around the farm and other festivals that we've been at, you probably understand a little bit. So thank you again, and I promise you that totem and his legacy are not going anywhere. You're going to see that crazy cat with his glasses on raging even harder next time we're at the farm.
Yes, so many people sent us photos of the totem, and just thank you so much because that really means a lot.
Yeah, seriously. All right, so I think that'll cover it for this week. We'll get back with another episode because I suspect that there is going to be news about Bonnaroo one way or another in the next week or so. So once they drop that news, we'll hang out with you again, and we'll chill and hang out and talk about it. Sound good to you?
Yes.
All right, everybody. Get out there and radiate positivity.